are Geekcentric, and you can be too. Love ya. Get home safe, guys. Peace.
Welcome to the Geekcentric podcast, and welcome to our special Behind the Geeks interview with Temuera Morrison. My name is Justin. If you're joining us for the first time, well, we are Geekcentric, a podcast covering the world of movies, TV shows, toys, collectibles, gaming, and all things Geekcentric. I am so thrilled to welcome Temuera Morrison, well-known actor from so many projects, but for us as geeks, huge fans of Star Wars, you might recognize Temuera as being the clone, Jango Fett, Boba Fett, as well as a slew of other characters and clones throughout live-action Star Wars, as well as Chief Tui from Moana and the upcoming Moana 2 this November. A huge thanks to our friends at Touchwood PR for setting up this interview in part with celebrating Fan Expo Canada, which is happening this weekend in Toronto. We're very excited to be there covering the event. And as part of our coverage, we were offered this very special interview with Temuera Morrison. You know, during our conversation, he discusses changes in the industry, just surrounding representation of indigenous cultures, his experience in both working in Star Wars and Moana, and what it's like to connect with fans at these conventions. So we got a great interview for you. We got a lot more coverage for Fan Expo. You'll be wanting to make sure you follow us on our socials, primarily probably Instagram at We Are Geekcentric, but if you want, you can also follow us on TikTok. We'll probably throw some reels up there highlighting some of the shenanigans we get up to this weekend. Fan Expo is running August 22nd to August 25th at the Metro Toronto Convention Center. It's going on right now, and there's a lot to see. There's a lot to do, and we're so excited to be there as press, and you can expect a full recap episode from us probably on Monday, but talking about future episodes. We got lots of reviews. We got more interviews on the way, some pretty cool stuff that we're working on. So definitely want to subscribe if you haven't already, wherever you listen to podcasts. And also, you can check out this interview and many of our other interviews on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Geekcentric. So without further ado, let's get to our special interview with Temuera Morrison. Enjoy. Temuera, welcome to the Geekcentric podcast. I got to say, it's such an honor to have you on the show today. So thank you so much.
All good, my friend. Very well.
Yes. And I see you're here in Toronto for Fan Expo. And I've seen you've been doing some conventions. You mentioned you were in Chicago recently. What's it been like to connect with all the fans at these events?
Well, I just want to... I'm grateful that I'm part of the Fan Expo family now.
Right.
I must be, because I went to Armand's house here in Toronto. Wow. And he was looking after all his staff, and he put on a barbecue. And I was invited along, so it was very nice. A very tight group, the Fan Expo family, so it's just an honor to be part of them and to be invited to these wonderful occasions. I've just finished a movie in the Gold Coast, Australia, called The Bluff, starring Priyanka Chopra, Carl Urban, and myself, Israel. Yeah, wonderful. So we had a wonderful time in the Gold Coast, and that was quite nice to get back to what I normally do.
Right.
So it was a wonderful experience, and we took about 6 weeks down there to shoot this film, so it's been wonderful. And nice. I've just been doing a few little touch-ups for Moana 2. That's coming out November. I've got a small little part in that next...
I got a question about that in a little bit.
So that's great. And and we're also finishing off a Apple show with Jason Momoa called Chief War.
Oh, cool.
And, that's a period Hawaiian story. It's been something dear to Jason and his friends, the producer, to make something Hawaiian. And this is going to be quite epic, quite an epic show for Apple.
Yeah.
Being period as well, and looking at some of the inter-island rivalry back in the 1890s.
Right.
So I got to play kahekili in that. We're just doing a few pickups for that. When I leave Toronto here on Monday, I'm going to Hawaii to do a little bit of work on that.
So that's amazing. Through all this work, you're kind of stopping through, doing these fan expos, connecting with fans, and seeing sort of like that fandom on its large scale. I absolutely love that. And as you can tell, you commented on my shirt. You have it. It's a Star Wars reference shirt. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so I got some Star Wars questions for you. But before I ask you anything Star Wars related, I kind of want to ask you a general question about your work, because as someone who's admired your work, I enjoy the wide range of genres and characters that you've played. And you often choose roles, in my opinion, that deeply resonate with your own cultural heritage. With Boba Fett, there was elements of Maori roots that were very much tied in there. And Moana, it's a film that celebrates the culture of the Polynesian island. I want to know what it means to you to share your heritage through the characters and stories you're involved in.
I think I've always been a little like that.
Yeah.
Even when I'm doing these conventions, I like to sort of promote the fact that I'm Maori.
Yeah.
We're the down under Hawaiians,
Mm-hmm.
so we're all connected. We're the same people, really.
Yeah.
When Jason hired me for this Hawaiian epic, I kept saying, hey, get a real Hawaiian. I'm a down under Hawaiian. And, it was Jason that reminded me that we are the same people.
Mm-hmm.
They say aloha, we say aroha. Just a
Aroha,
few
okay.
little bit of ocean between us now, but we are the same people. And I've always found that I like to promote that kind of indigenousness. I also, talking about that too, I have a film out called Whawhai Tonu, another period Maori film, all in our
Yeah.
language. That's coming to the
Wow.
Toronto Film Festival soon. So yeah, I was able to fit that one in as well. And this one's a story set in a actual real life battle we had back in 1864.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm in a movie promoting the film was directed by a very close friend that I've worked with before, Michael Jonathan. There's some wonderful young people in the movie, young Maori actors that are coming through now. And I've
Mm-hmm.
seen it over the time that when I first started in the industry, there weren't a lot of Maori in the industry on both
Correct.
sides of the camera.
Yeah.
And I've grown up now a little bit and matured a little bit, and I'm seeing a few more of us come into the arena, a
Mm-hmm.
few in front of the camera, a few behind the camera. So we're making our stories now in our own way, from our
Mm-hmm.
own perspective. So this is very exciting.
Yeah.
Um, One, to be involved with my movie, Whawhai Tonu, Māori film, and also all the international ones too with Disney.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Moana's looking good apparently.
Yeah.
I just play Moana's dad.
Right.
So I play everyone's dad. I play Aquaman's dad, Moana's
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah.
You'll be everyone's grandfather soon.
And it's great to see, though, just the way that you're very committed to wanting to bridge those two, like your work with your heritage, to kind of talk about that and create that.
Yeah, I grew up watching cowboy movies. And I always got annoyed when the Indians just went round and round and round the wagon train, and they just got shot. I said, "Geez, I'm sure they were a bit cleverer than that."
Yeah,
Then I got to
absolutely.
Hollywood, and I found out they weren't even Apaches; they were extras. They round up any guy they could find and put a wig on them.
Wow.
Make sure
Yeah.
they didn't ride a horse. But yeah,
Different times, though, right? Different
it's a
times.
different
For
times
sure.
now. We're making, these days we're making very culturally sensitive stuff now. So things have changed. We're
Yes,
speaking the
absolutely.
language properly.
Right.
We're getting dialogue coaches in now to make sure we are speaking the language. So this is all great now.
Yeah,
Even
it's
with
awesome.
the chief of war, we had to learn fluent Hawaiian.
Right.
We're playing Hawaiians back in the day, so quite challenging. But
Yep.
again, promoting the Hawaiian traditional language.
Yes. Yeah,
So
I love that.
that's all in this chief of war for Apple. So yeah,
Yeah,
I've actually
that's
been
awesome.
quite busy. I've been
It's
busier
good,
now
man.
than I've ever been. The phone's still ringing. I make a point of looking where all the fan expos, and I work through my agents, and they say, look, it's just nice to be invited to some of these conventions too.
Yes.
You,
Yeah.
I find that it's really about just a moment with the fan. They get the
Exactly.
autograph, they get a
Yeah.
photograph, but I really feel it's just they want a little moment. here's a man who done voiceovers for some of the Star Wars games. Some of these young fans have grown up with my voice. They've grown up with Jango Fett, Attack of the Clones, and it's generational now. So I get that a lot from the fans. Oh, I played this game, Republic Commando, Battlefront. Your voice I grew up with as a young guy.
Yeah,
I forget.
that's
I'm
like
getting
me.
now. Yeah, so
That's me. That's you're talking to one of those fans right now.
yeah,
I
so it's a
that's
buzz.
how I've
It's
known
a
and
buzz.
appreciated you.
It's a buzz, and then also to wear the boots of
Hmm.
Jeremy Bullock, who set a lot of the kudos up for Boba Fett, that mysterious bounty hunter, which was set up back in those early episodes. So yes, I just feel very, very privileged that one, George put me in Attack of the Clones, and more recently being called back 20 or years later to play the clone's son in the
It's
Mandalorian.
amazing. Yeah, such
And then
depth.
again, from Mandalorian to have the Book of Boba Fett was just a wonderful privilege as well. So, yeah, I'm very blessed that I can sort of work in a number of galaxies and still hang out in a little place called New Zealand, somewhere in the Milky Way.
Yeah. Well, you speak of Star Wars, and as you mentioned, I'm a fan. You're connecting with fans. You had the opportunity to do so much in that galaxy. Before you did, were you a Star Wars fan? And once you joined in 2002 as Jango Fett, like, did that change your perception of Star Wars being a part of the movies?
Yes, definitely. When the first one came out in 1977, I think I was just leaving high school. So I used to go to the movies quite a lot. I had no money, but by the time I'd walk around the town and get 20 cents from every one of my relations, I'd managed to get enough to go to the movies. We loved going to the movies as kids, but I grew up with the movies like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Robert Redford, Paul Newman, all those cool dudes. Movies like The Sting. I used to watch all those old movies with my dad, Lawrence of Arabia. And then, funnily enough, I'm working on the Book of Boba Fett, and it's a bit similar to Lawrence of Arabia when there's a pike train syndicate trying to come through our Tuscan territory.
Yeah, yeah,
And instead of Lawrence, it's a Boba Fett on top of the train. So
yeah, yeah.
it was kind
Yeah.
of weird. There I was, a fan of these great old movies. In fact, we'd watch a few scenes from those old movies, from The Godfather, from Lawrence of Arabia. Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni were just great to work with, along with Robert Rodriguez. And when we were doing the Book of Boba Fett, we'd always have those references right there on set. And we'd watch a few scenes from the old movies, and then we'd go out and kind of shoot something very, very similar, but
Yeah,
with the modern technology. And yeah, it all started. It was just a wonderful way to work. Really, just had a great time. Wonderful experience with Robert Rodriguez and just the whole crew. I found with the studio people in Manhattan Beach, it was so, even if you're not a fan or you don't know that history of the Star Wars eulogies and that, the background
The
information,
lore,
and
yeah.
the lore and all that stuff. The crew knew it. The makeup lady would know all about it. The makeup people, the grips and the crew guys were all avid Star Wars, knowledgeable about all the ins and outs of the galaxies and what's going on. I was worried more about what time lunch was, but anyway, by reference, there was plenty of people to call on. Hey, who's this guy? Sometimes I go, who's this guy? Have I come across this guy before? Oh yes, this is Cat Bane. Yes, you've got a history with this guy. Okay, I'm glad I know that. There's plenty around. There was enough people around me to sort of, by the time I walked out of my changing room, I would have spoken to somebody, and I've got the whole insight. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. It feels like it's a way for you to learn at the same time, like, more about that lore. Now, I'm not just a Star Wars fan. I'm a huge Moana fan, and I have a 2-year-old who's absolutely obsessed with this movie.
Yes.
We watch it like every day. And now you're coming back as Chief 2 as in Moana 2, and I hear
Yes.
you'll be singing, which I'm excited for. I actually found a couple old relics online, like some old videos of you singing. I think this was like a cover of Sling Away, I think it was called.
Slipping
It was
away,
way back in
slipping
the
away. Baby,
yeah.
I've been watching you. Beautiful song, that one.
Yeah.
Watching
And
everything you do. Back in
I,
New
I
Zealand,
I
you
think I'm gonna cry though. I feel like I'm gonna cry in this movie with you singing and having a ballad with your daughter.
sad
Is it?
song. Sad
Yeah.
song.
Okay.
No, 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 that's all for Moana. I actually
Yeah.
sang in the first Moana, but I'm watching the. I went to a screening and I was surprised they never used my voice in the first one. And I sang that song.
So was I. I was surprised too to find that out.
And maybe I wasn't cutting it. Maybe I just got to
Mm.
accept the fact that it may have been a little high for my
Mm-hmm.
Register, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe I was struggling a little bit. But I did go in there and shoot that and sing that song.
Mm-hmm.
And but I'm glad. I think I make the cut in Moana too. I think they're going to
Awesome.
stay with my voice because I did have a recording session where I sang. I can't
Beautiful.
even remember the song, but it's along the same kind of feel as the village
Okay.
stuff. I think it's an ensemble, actually, to be quite honest.
Oh,
So I'm
perfect.
part of the village singing.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, wonderful experience with those with the Disney people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Actually,
So am
seeing
I.
Moana. It's a people love Moana. People love
Yeah.
Moana. The parents love Moana more so because they get a bit of a
Yes.
break from the kids. There's 2 hours they can do something else while the kids is
I
engrossed in Moana.
but I love it. I love it for all of the elements that I was kind of referencing before: the cultural heritage, the
Yes,
spiritual
yes,
connection to it,
yes,
the idea, like
yes,
I'm a new father, connecting with my daughter. You know
yes,
what I mean? Just
yes.
seeing that and understanding. So they like for me as a Disney fan, as a Star Wars fan, there's always a deeper meaning to these stories. And
Yes, they're
yeah,
putting Polynesia on the map now. It's interesting
yes,
too. If you think of the Polynesian part of the world, it's a big area of ocean, and
hmm
quite remarkable how the Polynesians sailed and settled
hmm
in that area, just like Moana did. We're having a renaissance back in New Zealand and some of the islands, Tahiti,
hmm
Rarotonga, Samoa. There are double hull canoes that they're rebuilding now and
right,
sailing the traditional way. And it's proven now that we could sail from New Zealand to Rapa Nui, pick up some kumara and come all the way back again. Could sail up to Rarotonga, Tahiti, 2 weeks if we get a good wind. So we could go to Tahiti, we could go to Hawaii. Hawaii, of course, is right in close to North America. So we could go from Hawaii to San Pedro and up to those North American coasts. So,
hmm
the narratives now, if we do more, the research that's coming out is, Polynesians were great navigators. So, yeah, great to open the world up to these Polynesian Pacific stories. And Moana is definitely one of those. Just again, very, very fortunate to be involved. I have to laugh at some of the fans though, because the kids come up to the table and I can hear the parents go, "That's Chief Tui, that's Chief Tui," and the other ones go, "That's Boba Fett, that's Boba Fett." And
yeah,
it's totally
they're just educating.
oh, he doesn't
That's
look like Chief Tui. He doesn't even look like Chief Tui. What do you mean he's Chief Tui? But the
that's
animation and all that. No, no, no. Then I have to do the voice. No one
mm,
goes beyond the reef, Moana. I think
hmm
I've got a few lines like that anyway. And I'm throwing my hair around a bit. So I'm looking forward to that. Got a few projects in the wind too. So that's good. Very busy at the moment. But yeah, nice to be in Toronto. Nice to be in Toronto. Meet the fans and Hawaii next week. So aloha.
a busy guy. So thank you again,
Very
Tamora,
busy.
for joining us on the Geekcentric podcast. Again, like I was saying, it's such a privilege to talk to you, someone who's been so influential on the projects that I appreciate and I adore and love. So this means a lot for you to have made the time to join us and talk to us on the Geekcentric podcast.
Wonderful talking,
Appreciate-
Justin. Wonderful talking. You have a great day. And call me
Awesome.
if you wear that shirt because I'll be wearing my shirt too. I've just got to
I'll
dry
try to
clean
find
it.
you. I'm going to be there this weekend. I'll try to find you. All right.
Aloha. Aloha.